Hey, I'm the little guy of the camp and we are all giants. So my pop said if I want my own mountaintop then I have to present some videos. I gotta have my own domain. This is the jaw-dropping and curious things episodes Reactors Compilations. Here is the adventure.
Hey, welcome back, divers. Let's get ready for another adventure. This is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in.
In hope it. They've been hiding the true answer to this question from us. Why are these doors and windows halfway in the ground? During the early 19th century, strange events were reported worldwide. Cities were being dug out from layers of mud and debris. Buildings were being revealed that were covered to their rooftops in mud. A global cataclysmic event buried entire civilizations, erasing them from history. But here is where it gets rather unsettling. The Tartarian Empire, an empire often depicted in old maps, was an advanced civilization that existed across Europe and Asia. They built architectural marvels, had access to advanced technology, and were able to harness energy from the atmos. The mud flood, many say, was a deliberate attempt to wipe out Tartaria from history, hiding their advanced technology and knowledge. But it gets even darker. Look at the world's fairs of the late 1800s and early 1900s. These elaborate buildings, resembling ancient architecture, were supposedly built in just a few years. After the fairs, they were supposedly demolished. Was this to erase evidence of an advanced pre-existing civilization? The Chicago World Fair in 1893, the Paris Exposition in 1900, and the St. Louis World Fair in 1904. These events showcased magnificent architecture, and on official papers they were apparently built with plaster and wood. Do these look like temporary structures to you? The sudden disappearance of these architectural marvels raises the question, were they remnants of the Tartarian Empire, conveniently disguised as temporary exhibits and then destroyed to hide their origins? They've been hiding the true answer to this question from us.
Believe it or not, I believe they have a world fair going on right now in Japan. This is the world fair going on in Osaka, Japan right now.
Here's the latest update 2 weeks after the Osaka Expo 2025 started. There were still a lot of visitors from across the world, but the crowd was manageable this time. And thankfully, I didn't need to queue for hours just to enter the gate. Take note, only some pavilions need reservations online, and most of them just require you to line up. But some pavilions have a long waiting time, so a bag of patience is really a thing here. I came without a reservation this time, and I was able to visit some pavilions like the Philippines. And it was a nice one to start my day. Next, I visited Oman's pavilion, which showcased their country's sustainable plan through a video presentation. A food for sale is also available outside its pavilion, in case you get hungry. After a short stroll, I queued for Romania's pavilion, which took me almost 35 minutes. That's insane. Inside, they also had a video presentation and a musical performance. Then, I went for a walk to appreciate other countries' pavilions. Sadly, I couldn't get inside because of long waiting time, so a day is definitely not enough to enjoy the expo. Gladly, you can also enter some pavilions with short to no waiting time, like the pavilions of European Union, Latvia, Algeria, Cambodia, Chile, and Tunisia. It's also interesting to learn about their countries and plans for the future. True enough, this expo is a perfect avenue to invite people to consider visiting their countries to experience their food, customs, and culture. Just across, pavilions of Serbia, Bangladesh, Senegal, and Egypt have short to no waiting time. So if you're collecting stamps, you can easily get them there. For dinner, I headed to the expo's food hall. There were many to choose from, but it's still a good option to bring your own food. In the evening, I went to Thailand's pavilion. The Thai dance was an interesting part of their exhibition. Adjacent to the Thailand's pavilion is the Spain's pavilion, which is one of the biggest. They have interesting displays inside, and you can even dine in their restaurant and buy wine. The view at night is spectacular because of the building's display of lights. A fireworks display is also held every month, so plan your visit accordingly. Upon exiting the area, a lot of patience is once again needed, as a big crowd is expected to also leave the area at the same time. Which pavilion do you want to visit? Share it in the comments. Japan awaits, always.
Japan just built a city packed with 160 countries inside of it, and they didn't just slap some flags around and call it a day. There are over 60 countries who have their own massive pavilions. One second you're walking through the streets of Saudi Arabia, the next you're inside a rocket in the US, and then you're lost in a forest in Indonesia. It's called the Expo 2025, and it's like traveling the world without ever leaving Osaka. And the goal is to show off future technology, culture, and how the world can actually work together. And to protect the city of the future, they built the world's largest wooden wall around it, just in case the Titans show up. Oh, and the mayor of this place is whatever this thing is, and you can experience it through...
That wooden wall isn't going to stop no Titans. Some people theorize that they were trying to tell us about the ice wall. That's for another video. Just going to go over them real quick. Ireland looks really cool. This one, France, they did a good job. It's not like the old structures, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is cool, but it's more of like, look, they put a cloth on the side. You know, they went way harder back in the day. This wood, they threw some wood. Okay, Malaysia, all right. Portugal, Singapore, giant dragon's egg. I mean, it looks like a fun time. I'm not gonna lie. The giant stingray looking thing was cool. In the USA, they weren't even trying. Did you see them? Look at that. They just put up basically a giant
Shout out to Dark Waters 9. Some of these adventures are insane. That mountaintop is starting to become a reality. Definitely looking forward to it.
LED screen. Nobody's trying to see that. Look, there's no line. I mean, it looks interesting, but is it like the past world fairs? No. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Would you guys go to this? I want to hear it. Drop it in the comments below. This is a world fair. Waterfalls come from the stumps of the ancient petrified trees.
There's no water in the house. Hoping that this one has water. Let's see. Ah, there's water. Yay. There is water. So I wonder where is this water coming from, but at least we've got water. From a tree.
Did you see what that said? It said these stumps are clear indication that the stumps are still active. Look how massive that tree is. That's Devil's Tower right there. Look how tiny it is. Look how massive this tree is. This tree literally went past the clouds. Without a doubt, you had people living in these trees now. Back in the ancient times, I see it. Giants were climbing all in these trees. They probably had buildings, just like how you see all these Tartarian old looking structures, they probably had them inside these trees. Something went down. A massive war went down, and they labored at every single tree, cutting them down. You know, there had to be a war. I'm sure people put up a fight to try to stop them from putting these trees down. But if you look carefully, look how clean every single tree stump is cut. You know, they use some type of futuristic technology, solar technology. They harnessed the sun and aimed it right at the tree stump, and I'm telling you guys, you know, you didn't have some giant just come over with an axe and, you know, John Beanstalk, what's that story? Jack and the Beanstalk, there it is. You didn't have someone just Jack and the Beanstalk come with the axe and chop it. These are smooth cuts on all these giant tree stumps. It was solar technology. They had some type of beam and they just was it gets crazy, y'all. I believe back in the ancient times, it looked straight out of science fiction movie. They had airships, they had civilizations living in these trees, and they had solar technology. That's how they were able to cut all these tree stumps so cleanly. I'm convinced now, every single waterfall you see is an active tree stump. The roots of these giant tree stumps are pulling water from the great deep. Look at how flat this tree stump is. This was not some flood made this perfect. I'm not saying the flood didn't happen, but I'm saying the flood didn't cause these trees to get knocked over. This was a precision cut. This looks like a giant cantaloupe, doesn't it? In the middle is the core or the seed. Or it could be a giant peach for real. James and the giant peach. Here you go. Could this be one of the fruits that was dangling on those trees?